Have you ever wondered why some men effortlessly draw women in, while others seem to be perpetually overlooked? It's not about looks, money, or status. These things may catch her eye, but they won't keep her attention. What if I told you that the secret to captivating any woman lies within you, buried beneath layers of self-doubt, societal conditioning, and misplaced efforts? This isn't just another video with tips and tricks on what to say or do. It's a philosophy, a way of being, rooted in principles that have stood the test of time. Stoicism. By mastering yourself, you can become the kind of man who naturally commands attention and respect, not just from women, but in every aspect of life. So, stay with me. We're about to unravel the ancient wisdom that transforms ordinary men into extraordinary ones. By the end of this video, you'll understand why true attraction is less about chasing and more about becoming. The final point in this journey? It's the one that will change your life forever. But first, let's lay the foundation. 1. Be true to yourself. How often have you found yourself pretending to be someone you're not, just to impress a woman? Maybe you've exaggerated a story, tried to hide your flaws, or even acted like you're into something just because she is. It feels exhausting, doesn't it? And here's the kicker: it rarely works. Why? Because authenticity is magnetic, while pretending is draining for both you and her. Women can sense when you're not being genuine, and it creates an invisible barrier between you. On the flip side, when you embrace who you truly are, flaws and all, something incredible happens. You start attracting the right kind of people, including the right woman. But what does it really mean to be true to yourself? It's not about settling for mediocrity or refusing to grow. It's about knowing your values, your goals, and your unique qualities, and unapologetically living them out. Let's break this down with some real-life examples. Imagine you're on a date and she asks you about your hobbies. Do you tell her what you think she wants to hear, or do you share your genuine interests, even if they're a little quirky? The answer is simple. Always choose authenticity. Whether you're passionate about woodworking, rock climbing, or even collecting vintage comics, own it. Authenticity stands out in a world full of people trying to fit into molds. Here's another scenario. Let's say you have a strong opinion about something, and she disagrees. Do you change your stance to avoid conflict? Many men would, thinking it's the polite thing to do. But being true to yourself means standing by your beliefs, respectfully and confidently. Women respect men who have a clear sense of self, even if their opinions differ. Being authentic also means embracing your imperfections. You don't need to be perfect to be loved, you need to be real. Confidence doesn't come from never making mistakes, it comes from accepting yourself, learning from your experiences, and moving forward with clarity and purpose. This isn't just about dating. When you're true to yourself, your entire life starts to align. You feel more confident at work, more connected with friends, and more at peace in your own skin. And guess what? That kind of self-assured energy is incredibly attractive. Here's a question for you. When was the last time you felt truly comfortable being yourself around someone you liked? If it's been a while, don't worry. You're not alone. But it's time to change that. Start small. Practice authenticity in everyday interactions and watch how people respond. You'll be surprised at how refreshing and liberating it feels. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but won't being myself turn some people off? Absolutely. And that's exactly the point. When you're true to yourself, you naturally filter out the people who aren't right for you. And isn't that what you want? A relationship built on honesty and mutual respect, not on pretense and performance. Being true to yourself is the foundation of everything else we'll discuss. Without it, nothing else will stick. But once you embrace it, you'll unlock a new level of confidence and clarity that will change the way you approach relationships forever. And here's the best part. Authenticity sets the stage for something even deeper: mastering your inner world. In the next section, we'll explore how to harness your emotional strength to create a magnetic presence that women can't resist. Ready? Let's keep going. 2. Attraction begins within. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, yet women still don't seem interested? Maybe you've worked on your appearance, improved your social skills, or even learned a few clever lines. But despite all that, something's missing. You feel invisible, like your efforts aren't paying off. Here's the truth. Attraction isn't about what you do, it's about who you are. Many men think that women are primarily attracted to external traits like looks, wealth, or status. And while these things can grab attention, they don't hold it. What really captivates a woman is a man's inner world, his emotional strength, confidence, and self-mastery. You see, true attraction starts from within. When you're grounded in who you are, when you know your worth and don't seek external validation, you naturally draw people in. Why? Because emotional stability is rare and incredibly appealing. It signals that you're a man who can handle life's challenges, who won't crumble under pressure, and who can offer a sense of security and balance in a relationship. But what does it mean to be emotionally strong? It's not about suppressing your feelings or acting like you don't care. In fact, the Stoics teach us that true strength comes from understanding and mastering our emotions, not ignoring them. It's about being in control of your reactions, staying calm in the face of adversity, and maintaining your composure no matter what life throws your way. Think about the last time you faced a difficult situation. Did you stay calm and collected, or did you let your emotions get the better of you? Imagine if, instead of reacting impulsively, you could pause, reflect, and respond with clarity and purpose. How would that change the way you navigate relationships, work, and life in general? Here's an example. Let's say you're on a date, and something goes wrong. Maybe the restaurant messes up your order, or she brings up a topic that makes you uncomfortable. Most men would get flustered, trying to fix the situation or steer the conversation in a different direction. But a man who's mastered his inner world remains calm and unbothered. He understands that external events don't control his state of mind, only he does. This kind of composure is incredibly attractive. Women notice when you're unshaken by life's little hiccups. It shows that you're not just playing a role or putting on a facade, you're genuinely in control. And that kind of emotional strength creates a sense of trust and safety that's hard to resist. Now, let's take it a step further. Imagine walking into any room, whether it's a date, a meeting, or a social gathering, with an unshakable sense of confidence. You're not there to impress anyone or seek approval, you're simply present, comfortable in your own skin. That kind of energy is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who exude quiet confidence and emotional stability. But how do you cultivate this inner strength? It starts with self-awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts and emotions. When you feel yourself getting anxious, frustrated, or upset, pause and ask yourself, why am I reacting this way? Is this something I can control? The more you practice this, the more you'll realize that most of the things that upset us are outside our control, and that's okay. Here's a question for you. When was the last time you truly felt in control of your emotions? If you're like most men, it's probably been a while. But don't worry, this isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Every time you catch yourself reacting and choose to respond calmly instead, you're building emotional strength. And as you grow in this area, you'll notice a profound shift, not just in your dating life, but in all areas of your life. You'll stop overthinking, stop seeking validation, and start living with a sense of purpose and confidence. Now that we've explored the power of inner mastery, it's time to move on to the next crucial step, breaking free from the cycle of chasing. In the next section, we'll uncover why chasing women is counterproductive and how you can flip the script to make them chase you instead. Ready to learn the art of effortless attraction? Let's dive in. 3. Stop chasing, start attracting. Why is it that the harder you try to win someone over, the less interested they seem? It's frustrating, isn't it? You invest time, effort, and energy, but instead of drawing her closer, she pulls away. Here's the harsh truth. The more you chase, the more you repel. But why does this happen? The answer lies in human nature. When you chase someone, you're subconsciously communicating that you see them as more valuable than yourself. And when you place someone on a pedestal, they instinctively sense the imbalance and lose interest. Here's a question for you. Have you ever been drawn to someone who seemed desperate for your attention? Probably not. That's because attraction isn't about pursuit, it's about magnetism. The more secure and self-assured you are, the more naturally people will be drawn to you. Think about the last time you were in a situation where you felt like you had to prove yourself. Maybe you tried too hard to impress her with jokes, compliments, or stories. Did it work? Chances are it didn't. Because women, like anyone else, can sense when someone is trying too hard. An effort that comes from a place of insecurity is a turnoff. So what's the alternative? Stop chasing. Stop trying to prove your worth. Instead, focus on becoming the kind of man who naturally attracts attention. This doesn't mean playing games or being aloof. It means shifting your focus from external validation to internal growth. When you stop chasing, something remarkable happens. The dynamic shifts. She starts to notice your confidence, your calmness, and your sense of purpose. She becomes curious, intrigued by the fact that you're not like most men who seek her approval. And that curiosity often leads to attraction. But this isn't just about playing it cool, it's about genuinely valuing yourself and your time. When you prioritize your own growth and goals, you send a powerful message. I am whole on my own. And that kind of self-assurance is irresistible. Here's another question for you. What would it feel like to have women chase you instead of the other way around? Imagine the freedom and confidence that comes with knowing you don't need to perform or impress. That's the power of attraction rooted in self-mastery. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into the role of emotional strength and presence in creating lasting connections. You'll learn how to cultivate a magnetic energy that draws women in without you ever needing to chase. Let's keep the momentum going. 4. Mastery of emotions and presence. Have you ever felt like you were walking on eggshells in a relationship? Maybe you've caught yourself overanalyzing her every word, trying to decode what she's thinking. Or perhaps you've reacted impulsively to her moods, only to regret it later. Here's the reality. The way you manage your emotions can make or break your connection with a woman. Women are naturally drawn to men who are emotionally stable and present. Why? Because emotional stability signals that you're reliable and secure, someone she can trust and feel safe with. On the other hand, emotional volatility, whether it's overreacting, getting defensive, or shutting down, creates tension and distance. Now, you might be thinking, how do I become more emotionally stable? The answer lies in mastering your inner world. Emotional mastery isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending you're unaffected by things. It's about understanding your emotions and learning how to respond rather than react. Imagine you're on a date and she brings up a topic that catches you off guard. Maybe it's something personal, or perhaps it's a subtle critique. Most men might get defensive or try to change the subject. But a man who's mastered his emotions takes a different approach. He listens, processes, and responds calmly, showing that he's not easily rattled. This not only diffuses tension but also demonstrates maturity and confidence. Let's break this down with a simple technique. The pause and reflect. The next time you feel a strong emotional reaction, whether it's frustration, anxiety, or even excitement, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is my reaction based on reality, or am I letting assumptions take over? This moment of reflection allows you to choose your response rather than being controlled by your emotions. Here's another scenario. You're in a conversation and she tests you with a provocative comment. Maybe she's teasing you or challenging your opinion. How do you react? A lot of men either try to prove themselves or get flustered. But the man who masters his emotions sees these moments as opportunities. He remains calm, responds with playful confidence, and shows that he's not easily shaken. This kind of composure makes you stand out because it shows you're not reactive, you're deliberate. Being emotionally present also means truly engaging in the moment. How often do we let our minds wander during a conversation, thinking about what to say next or worrying about how we're being perceived? Women can sense when you're not fully there, and it creates a disconnect. Instead, practice active listening. Focus entirely on her words, her tone, her expressions. When you're fully present, you create a powerful connection that goes beyond surface-level attraction. Here's a question for you. When was the last time you felt completely in control of your emotions in a high-pressure situation? If you can't recall, don't worry. Emotional mastery is a skill that takes practice, but every small step you take builds a stronger foundation. Emotional strength and presence don't just make you more attractive, they make you a better partner, friend, and leader. When you master your emotions, you become the calm in the storm, the person others can rely on. And that's a rare and valuable trait in any relationship. Now that we've explored the power of emotional mastery, it's time to uncover why setbacks and challenges in dating aren't something to fear, but rather opportunities to grow. In the next section, we'll talk about how to handle things when they don't go your way. Let's dive in. 5. Handling setbacks with grace. Let's face it, dating isn't always smooth sailing. Sometimes the restaurant gets your order wrong, the conversation hits a lull, or she seems a little distant. These moments can feel like roadblocks, but here's the truth, they're opportunities. How you handle these setbacks speaks volumes about who you are. Think back to a time when things didn't go your way. Did you try to overcompensate, filling every silence with nervous chatter? Did you stress over her lack of response, over texting to gain her attention? If so, you're not alone. But there's a better way. A Stoic man understands that he can't control external circumstances, only his response to them. Instead of reacting impulsively, he chooses to remain calm and composed. Women find this quality incredibly attractive because it signals emotional maturity and resilience. Imagine you're on a date, and something awkward happens, a long pause in the conversation, or perhaps the restaurant messes up your reservation. Instead of panicking or making excuses, you acknowledge it with a confident smile. Well, this just adds to the adventure, doesn't it? Suddenly, what could have been a stressful moment becomes an opportunity for shared laughter. Now, let's address a more challenging scenario. When she starts pulling away, maybe she's texting less, or her responses seem short. Most men's instinct: chase harder. They flutter with messages, trying to win back her attention. But here's the counterintuitive truth. The more you chase, the further she'll drift. A Stoic man doesn't panic. He recognizes that attraction isn't something you can force. Instead, he steps back, giving her space while remaining confident in himself. He understands that people need room to process their feelings, and by not overreacting, he subtly communicates, "I value myself, and I respect your autonomy." Here's a question for you. How do you typically respond to setbacks? Do you let them shake your confidence, or do you see them as opportunities to show your composure? The way you handle adversity will not only set you apart, but also build deeper trust and connection. Remember, setbacks aren't signs of failure, they're tests of character. And when you pass these tests with grace, you show her that you're someone who can weather life's storms. Now that we've tackled handling challenges, let's move to an equally crucial aspect: aligning your words with your actions. 6. Actions over words. You've probably heard this a million times. Actions speak louder than words, but in relationships, this isn't just a cliche, it's a rule to live by. Imagine you've told her, "I'm someone who values honesty and consistency." That's a great start. But what happens if your actions don't align? If you're constantly canceling plans, showing up late, or making promises you don't keep, your words lose all meaning. Women, like anyone else, will believe what you do far more than what you say. Let's start with the basics. Body language. Before you even open your mouth, your body is communicating. Are you slouching or fidgeting? These habits suggest nervousness or insecurity. Instead, adopt a posture that exudes confidence. Stand tall, keep your movements deliberate, and make relaxed but meaningful eye contact. This silent language speaks volumes about your self-assurance. But actions extend beyond physical presence. They show up in how you handle your commitments, your consistency, and your thoughtfulness. Say you've been listening to her talk about a passion project or a recent challenge. Following up with genuine curiosity shows that you're engaged. For example, you might say, "Hey, you mentioned working on that design project last time, how's that going?" These small, thoughtful actions demonstrate that you're not just hearing her, you're listening. And in a world where most people are distracted, this stands out. Another way to let your actions shine is through purposeful movement. Have you ever noticed how confident people move? They don't rush or fumble, every step seems intentional. When you walk into a room with purpose, it communicates that you belong there, without needing to say a word. Here's something to reflect on. Are your actions reinforcing your words, or are they creating doubt? When your actions consistently back up your intentions, you build trust. And trust, more than charm or looks, is the foundation of lasting attraction. In the final section, we'll dive into the subtle power of meaningful communication. You'll learn how to connect deeply and make her feel truly seen through the right words, used at the right time. Let's wrap this up. 7. Meaningful communication. Here's a question. What do you think women hear more often, compliments about their looks or compliments about their character? The answer is obvious. Most men default to surface-level remarks. "You're beautiful," or "You're so hot." While these might earn a polite smile, they don't leave a lasting impression. Why? Because they're generic. If you want to truly stand out, you need to master the art of meaningful communication. This isn't about having a silver tongue or crafting the perfect pickup line. It's about saying the right things in a way that connects on a deeper level. First, let's talk about using her name. It might seem simple, but there's a reason people love hearing their own name. It's personal and validating. When you weave her name into your conversation naturally, it shows that you see her as an individual, not just another face in the crowd. But here's the key. Don't overdo it. Using her name too frequently can feel forced. Instead, drop it strategically, like when giving a genuine compliment. For example, "You know, Anna, I really admire how passionate you are about your work." This small gesture can make her feel uniquely recognized and valued. Next, focus on compliments that go beyond the surface. Instead of saying, "You look amazing," try something like, "I really appreciate how thoughtful you are. You always seem to notice the little things." Compliments like these are rare, and they resonate because they highlight qualities that matter. Another powerful tool. Active listening. When she's sharing something, resist the urge to immediately respond or shift the focus to yourself. Instead, reflect on what she's saying. If she's talking about a challenge, acknowledge her feelings. "That sounds really tough. How did you handle it?" This shows that you're not just listening to reply, you're listening to understand. Finally, let's talk about gratitude. When she does something thoughtful, whether it's sharing a recommendation or planning a date, acknowledge it. A simple, heartfelt thank you can go a long way. Gratitude shows that you don't take her efforts for granted, and it fosters mutual appreciation. Here's a closing thought. What kind of conversations leave a lasting impact on you? Likely it's the ones where you feel truly seen and heard. That's exactly the feeling you want to create for her. By mastering meaningful communication, you build a connection that goes beyond physical attraction. And when combined with all the other principles we've discussed, you become someone she not only desires but deeply respects and admires. There you have it, the roadmap to becoming the kind of man who effortlessly attracts women. But this isn't just about dating, it's about transforming every aspect of your life through self-mastery. Now it's your turn. Which of these principles resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more insights, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Thank you for watching, and remember, the journey to becoming your best self starts today. You've got this.